Hey guys, Lord here, back in with another action figure review. Today I'll be taking a look at the Universal Monsters Ultimates. The Wolfman. Good old Lon Chaney Jr., not to be confused with Lon Chaney Sr., who was the Phantom of the Opera in a more obscure pick, London After Midnight. I don't think he was Mr. Hyde, was he? Either way, this is Lon Chaney Jr., and you're probably thinking, hey, he doesn't look much like a Wolfman right now. Well, here's the thing. He didn't turn to a Wolfman the first, 5 minutes of the movie, okay? So, just like the movie, this review is going to start off as good old Larry Talbot here, and then partway through we are going to transform him into the beast within. That said, this of course brought to us by the fine folks over at NECA Toys, and before we get too far ahead of ourselves, why don't we cut right to the chase and get into the meat and taters of this review. Take a look-see at all Mr. Talbot has to offer in terms of accessories, because we got a lot to talk about. Starting off with this alternate grip hand with the inappropriate hinge for holding weapons. Come on, guys, this ain't your first rodeo. Either way, he's got the Wolfman cane. It's pretty cool. Heck, they even used this cane in the Alvin and the Chipmunks Meet the Wolfman, for those of you older kids out there that remember that. That said, we also get a bear trap to trap poor Mr. Talbot in. And what you got to do to open this is fold this piece out, and then you can close it over his ankle. And fold it back in. I will tell you, when I first moved this thing, I actually thought I was going to screw it up. This is very tight out of package, and there's nothing to really loosen it up other than just going for it, man. That said, I lucked out. I didn't mess it up, though I will say I do kind of prefer the Raphael Wolfman's bear trap accessory piece. That said, of course, we get a couple of claw hands for when he is transforming into the Wolfman. It kind of feels like one of mine is, he has some schmutz on it or is warped. I have to with a hairdryer straighten it out maybe, but there you go. He's got some claw hands. He's also got some clawed feet, which, as you can see, one of them's got a little peg stand there, because if you don't use that, it's going to be a pain in the butt to stand this guy up, because he's got the degenerate feet. Kind of wish he was just flat foot. NECA was going to take any creative liberties. I would have probably recommended that, because, yeah, he is kind of a pain to stand unless you use this peg stand here. Guys, my buddy T-Biz, friend of the channel, picked up the Remco glow-in-the-dark version of this figure. I do not believe it came with this stand, that or he just missed it by accident. And, yeah, he did not have a fun time trying to stand that thing up, so... that said, if you do not have that stand, a good old Toddy Mac DC Multiverse stand will work just fine. And then, of course, we have the Wolfman heads. He's got a howling head and a non-howling head, because what else are you going to give him, right? That said, we won't transform him just yet, but we will do something a little bit premature here, just to give you a little bit of a sense of how this guy scales when he's not in wolf mode. Here he is with Brother Mandibulith and the infamous 11 Spawn, who at the moment is about neck and neck with him, just about. Now, that said, due to the degenerate nature of these feet, he's probably going to gain a little bit of height, so we'll bring these two back out a little later after we take a look-see at the articulation here. So, as far as that goes, and can I just say, likeness is uncanny to the man. Looks really good. He's got a ball joint at the base of the neck, as you could tell by the fact that the Wolfman heads have neck stumps. He's got a ball joint at the base of the neck and in the base of the skull. He doesn't get as much up as some of the other guys, but he does get enough, I think. And then he can look down, and he can tilt a little bit. He actually has a moving ball peg in the neck there. It's a double ball peg in the neck. So you get plenty of points, but it's just hindered. Shoulders will go out to the side. Surprisingly not as far as Frankenstein. Forward and back. These almost feel like the Ash from Evil Dead arms, but I don't think they is. He's got a single jointed elbow that gives you plenty of range. Look at that. A little bit better than 90 out of that. He does have a rotation, if I didn't mention that already. He's got an elbow rotation. Swivel hinge wrists. Those work fine. He's got a ball joint in the torso, but it doesn't do a lot. I wish he could get more crunch, but that's all you get. Hips will kick out to the side about that far. I did have to put some soap in the hips. They were very, very tight out of package. Very, very, like, ratchety tight. Now they are butter smooth, and I don't have any problems with them. But I will tell you, I did have to put quite a bit of soap in there to loosen them up enough. But they are very butter smooth now, and I don't have any problems with them. So, you know, word to the wise. You may have a different experience from me, but that's just what I experienced opening mine. He does have a little bit of a thigh swivel, not much though. He does have the swivel in the knee, so when you bend his knee, you can rotate down there. Then he does have a calf cut right below the pant leg, as well as a hinge in the foot with a rocker. He does have peg holes on the bottom of his feet. He's a little tricky to stand with the human feet, but not as much as the wolf feet. So why don't we cut right to the chase and start transforming this guy into the Wolfman that he is. Because I sense a full moon approaching, and as the song goes, there's a bad moon on the rise, especially when Larry Talbot comes to town. So swapping one of the hands on. Off screen, just in case it's a little tough. Don't worry, I won't be gone too long here. There you go. So you can kind of recreate the transformation where he has like one transformed hand and he's like freaking out like, what's going on, man? I think that's pretty cool. The hands are not too tough to pop out. Just got to give them a little twist and a pull. That's what she said. And they'll pop right out. That is also what she said. Where is that claw hand? I just had it. Heck, there it is. And you can pop the claw hands in. There you go. I will say it feels like the human hands are a little tighter than the claw hands as far as the swivel goes, but that ain't that big a deal. And then as far as the calves go, you just got to give them a little tougher twist and a pull because they have these big thick pegs on them. Wow, I'm having all kinds of innuendos with the pegs and the pulling and the twisting and the tugging and the... Yeah. I start talking about the wrong thing, I could get flagged. So popping that in. It's not too bad. And you can see that, yeah, he does gain a little bit of height. I'd say an extra foot's worth of height. You know, if he had a foot on the bottom of his foot, as far as that goes. Got the foot with the stand on it. Which I might use a McFarlane stand with this guy just because it'll even him out. Because as it stands, no pun intended, okay, maybe a little bit. You know, one foot is a little higher than the other one. So you can't exactly stand him straight, just kind of straight. It's a butter smooth shoulder there. And then for the head, you just decapitate him. And you can see that this peg in here does have some shift to it. I would advise not pushing it all the way to the back or else you're kind of screwed. You'd have to go in there with something trying to dig it out. But as far as the Wolfman head goes, I'm going to go with the closed mouth one for now. Which is fairly easy to pop in there. The other one I did have to put a little bit more pressure on it to get it to pop in all the way, but there you go. There is Mr. Lon Chaney Jr., aka good old Larry Talbot, transformed into the Wolfman. So he can join Ozzy Osbourne a la 1980 fella and bark at the moon and whatnot. That said, I do have a preference when it comes to werewolves. I do prefer the more, American Werewolf in London or The Howling, where they're actual, like, wolf-faced, like, anthropomorphized, like, big-ass, scary monsters. But, you can't beat the classics, man, and this guy is super classic. I will tell you, probably the coolest werewolves are the ones in Underworld, but that kind of goes without saying. I mean, anything Kate Beckinsale is in is pretty decent, isn't it? Or dare I say, a bussin'. That said, standing him up. You can see he is a little taller. A little bit. Bring in our two regulars again. We got the Mythic Legion's brother Mandibolith. Right there. And the infamous Elephant Spawn, who is about neck and neck with Mr. Talbot now. So, with that being said, it is time now that we move right along and wrap things up with some final thoughts. Overall, and aside from the fact that my particular figure's hips were a little bit too tight out the box, again, some soap was able to remedy that quite easily, and the fact that if you don't utilize that little peg stand he comes with, this figure will be a nightmare to get to stand upright. I have no complaints with this figure. I think he comes with enough accessories to get by. Granted, still feel like the Larry Talbot parts would have benefited from a pair of shoes, because, I don't know, I just don't see the man running around the woods barefoot, unless he's the Wolfman here, but it has been a while since I've seen the movie. But other than that, I guess, yeah, I really like this figure. If you're a fan of the Wolfman, if you're a fan of the late, great Lon Chaney Jr., then this is a definite must-have. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and until next time, catch you guys later.